This is a late night drive video for you here. And this video, oddly enough, is going to contradict the video that I'm still going to upload, because I want these Trump videos, these MAGA videos. This is really more of a Trump video than a MAGA video. But I want these videos to be uploaded the way they are, in the order they are, because this is the genuine reaction that I think I and many people are experiencing with this Trump 47 admin. I watched a lot of Academic Agent this week, and he was the same way. So AA is one of those guys that I think he's pretty smart. So like, usually when he makes a prediction, it tends to be something that I consider quite valid, because AA, I've criticized his description in the past of value free, because I just don't think value free exists, because everyone has a bias. But AA's pretty good at just, looking at the facts. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of him this past week, and he, always said, against like the more Old Glory Club or Pete Quinones talking points, that this Trump admin could be an epic disaster. And this has been the week. In case you guys don't know, because I'm going to be releasing this later. This is the week when Trump dropped the F-bomb. So you guys will already know what week I'm talking about. This was the week when we thought we were going into World War III. We thought that the world was going to end, which, that stuff still might happen. I made entire videos on, or an entire video on World War III. So that still might happen, but it's all over the place right now. So I've been watching Academic Agent. Why did I bring that up? Because Academic Agent is usually pretty good at, making a take and kind of sticking with it, whether that be, whether you guys like that or not. If you guys watch Academic Agent, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But even I watched all of his videos this week. As he was making videos, quite literally, they were becoming outdated. Because you had videos where, oh, Trump is a neocon now. He's bombed Iran. And then, like, just hours later, you find out, like, oh, actually, there was no bombs dropped. Or first it was 6 bombs were dropped. Then it was 12 bombs were dropped. And then it was Iran and Israel are going to make a peace deal. And then now it's come to where we're at now, where Trump is calling it the 12-day war. And he is basically declaring complete and total victory. He's like kind of saying, like, I averted World War III. And then he goes on to the news, and I'm just gonna say this verbatim. I don't usually cuss on this channel, but we're 3-4 minutes in. Hopefully YouTube won't ding me for this, but it's one of the most profound things I've ever heard Trump say, to be quite honest. He says they were asking about Israel, essentially, and he was just saying how he wasn't happy with Israel, which, if you guys have read John Mearsheimer's book, The Israel Lobby, you'll probably know that the last president that criticized Israel was John F. Kennedy. We all know what happened to John F. Kennedy. So to actually hear a president in my lifetime condemn Israel, that alone was wild. But then it just gets better, because he looks at the reporter and he says, these countries, if you guys are like, have like a more biblical perspective, I'm not talking Zionist, I'm talking, if you guys understand the history of the Middle East, then you know that what Trump said in a weird way is true and profound. He said these countries have been at war for so long and they fought so hard that neither one of them know what the fuck they're doing. And he said it just like that. And then he looks at the reporter and says, do you understand? And he just walks off. And that was the cap of the week, guys. So the whole week I'm watching Academic Agent, and I'm I'm at work all week too, so like I'm checking this out on my breaks, on my lunches, you know, like just whenever I can check it out essentially. And this was the capstone of the week. This happened on a Tuesday, but you got to realize this whole Iran-Israel stuff started on Saturday. And again, I can't remember the dates. I think it's the 27th of June that I'm making this video. So this would have been, today is Friday, now Saturday. I think I'm making, it's midnight now, so it's actually the 28th. So I'm making this video on a Saturday morning, barely, basically. And this, just 1 week ago, was when the whole Iran bombing happened, right? And so, even though that this Trump thing happened on a Tuesday, we've just had a wild ride all week, because now Trump's talking about how another thing that happened, I should even bring this up, is there was like a really big Supreme Court victory just recently, like as of like yesterday, and Amy Coney Barrett delivered. She actually delivered. I haven't looked into the details. I might have to make a whole video on this, but essentially it's going to allow Trump to push with his agenda. As I've made videos in the past, Trump is being held up by the courts. You know, he's basically held up by the courts, and the Supreme Court just dealt against that mentality, essentially. So it's going to allow Trump to do his agenda. So just a huge week of MAGA victories, and like I said, I'm making this video following up the video that you might have already watched, that I'm just going to still release it. And I titled it that Trump might be the most disappointing president in history, because when I made the video, I truly meant that. I truly believed that, guys. When I made the video, this is why I brought up academic agent at the beginning of this video, to illustrate the point. Academic agent is someone that I consider very knowledgeable. He's someone that I go to, and even he was flabbergasted by what was happening. So, like I said, as we're making the videos, they're becoming outdated as we make them. And I might have 3 or 4 of these. Again, you guys are watching the daily videos. The views have gone down quite a bit, but I'm going to just keep making them. I think that the YouTube's algorithm is shadow banning me or something. I don't know. Maybe my content just sucks. I don't know. But if you guys like these videos, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, you know, share the videos, whatever. Appreciate the support. But I, along with many others, have been reacting in real time. And another thing that's funny about this is I criticize slop all the time, and I still don't want to go towards that. Maybe it's because I'm working again. I don't have as much time to come up with like deeper philosophical topics, so I've been falling back on the slop. But this is we're living in history is what it feels like right now. It's like a bunch of things are happening, but then it feels like nothing's ever happening. But then if you understand what Trump, again, we don't even know if this is true, but it seems like Trump is trying to do his agenda, but he's trying to almost like play the politics of the party. So like, what am I talking about, right? So this whole Israel-Iran thing, the big concern of it is with the Israel Zionist lobby, neocon lobby in our government, which they're mostly Republicans. You know, the right-wing Jews, left-wing Jews, they're on both sides, but essentially the neocon Zionist Iran war position is more of a right-wing position. So Trump doesn't want this, right? I've always said Trump is a 90s Democrat, and he's anti-war. He takes like elements of Bill Clinton and like Pat Buchanan. Trump's he's a very odd president for sure in that regard, because he's pretty unique, put it that way. And so I'm making these videos about how MAGA is going to fail, and like I still think MAGA is a clown show as a party. It's just full of these people, and again, this also illustrated that, right? You got these like Laura Loomers, You got these Mark Levin. Mark Levin is like an actual insane person, I'm convinced, after this week, man. That guy's insane. That's the funny thing about these people too, is they get mad at us for noticing. Sorry for that voice crack there. They get mad at us for noticing, but then they'll go on these tirades and they'll just talk about how they're better than us. So it's like, it is very interesting when these people take the mask off. You know, I'm trying not to get too spicy for YouTube here, but it's definitely a racial thing that you're seeing. It's a very tribal thing. It's a very religious thing that you're seeing. You know, you've got camps forming. And this is what is so fascinating about the Trump thing, right? And why I'm even making this video is because Trump has this way of like bringing this out of the base, of the leftists, of just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like MAGA itself is kind of a clown show, and, you know, the future of the right wing is going to transcend Trump, but I think Trump understands what it's at. It's like, when I'm done, I have to pave the way for the future, whether that be JD Vance or whatever. And like I've said before, the biggest criticism I have of this inevitable agenda is, you know, the whole Palantir tech thing. But, you know, Jason Mirachuk of Mirachuk Now, really, I really enjoy watching his streams. He always talks about, you know, the trade-offs. It's the Thomas Sowell thinking, which is important. It's like, if you're going to get the mass deportations, right, like, you can't just like click your finger and undo 20+ million Biden illegal immigrants. It's a good point, right? So there's going to have to be compromise. Like, that's why I brought up Thomas Sowell. There's no solutions, only compromise. And so basically what that means is that they're going to use things like Palantir and, you know, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk's vision and all this Silicon Valley bullshit that we don't really want as right-wingers. They're going to use it. They're going to take advantage of the situation, right? As much as we criticize the left for, you know, not letting a good crisis go to waste, well, this is just politics. This is what both sides will do. So that is what is fascinating about Trump, though, is that Trump has his own agenda. Again, it's good and bad. This is the weird thing about Trump, is like, I always just get so mad at what he does, but then he'll just do something like this. It's just like, I'm back on board. I hate it, but I also love it. And speaking of Mirachuk Now, there's a guy, Matthew Erickson, that's on there a lot, named King Pilled, and he basically has just embraced the QAnon line of just trusting the plan, bro. And you know, I kind of like that too, because sometimes, like, I really want to trust the plan. That's the thing. I want Trump to usher in based world. But again, I just always say, I don't think he really has the resolve for it. But I get proven, you know, I shouldn't say proven wrong. I get thrown for a loop every like week or so at this point. It's just a wild ride, guys. We're only 6 months into the admin. You know, we're almost into July. So maybe we're like, yeah, we're about 6 months in, really, if you think about it. But it's just, he's always throwing me for a loop. I never know what direction Trump is going to go. So yeah, this video, I'm kind of making it because I don't know. It just, what is happening with Iran and Israel right now is none of our concern as a nation, right? Like they literally tried to do the line. They tried to do the line again of weapons of mass destruction. You know, Iran's going to have nukes in 4 days or whatever. Netanyahu tried to do his little weasel thing. He calls it like Operation Lion Strike or something stupid with lions. It's the same talking points, guys. This is what was so depressing. This is why I made that video that you guys saw before this, the one where I was really pissed off. It's because I literally thought we were going back into the 2000s. And again, that's still on the table. There could be like a you know, there could be like a staged event or, you know, a false flag coming. Not advocating for anything, YouTube, but, you know, there could still be more to come, and that I could just be contradicting myself yet again, making myself look stupid as I continue to make these videos back and forth. But Trump basically this is like, I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet, but he just looked at the Zionists and he just said checkmate, essentially. It's like Trump is trying to navigate the Zionists. He's trying to play them. He's like, okay, these guys this is what I think is happening. Like, they gave him money when Trump was at like the lowest of low, right? This was like when they were trying to throw him in jail. He just got shot at. You know, I was campaigning for him last year, so I was in the thick of this. I remember when he got shot. That was almost a year ago today. It's crazy how fast time goes, right? But there was a time where he was just the lowest of the low. You know, they were trying to gulag him, and he guaranteed had to make deals. He had to make deals. This is why Elon Musk jumped on board. You know, he had to make deals with the Zionists. And so now that he's in power, though, I think he is being pretty Machiavellian about this. He is assessing the situation. He's like, okay, I got the money from the Zionists. They expect me to do something, but I don't want to be in a war. And that's something, too, I noticed about Trump is maybe he genuinely listens. Because, like, you got Steve O'Bannon, you know, you had that was another thing. I didn't even bring it up. The Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz interview. Ted Cruz just got completely bamboozled. Like that, I don't even like that guy anymore. I never really liked Ted Cruz, but I always considered him, like, I would always say, like, Ted Cruz is one of those guys that you should put on the Supreme Court because he's a good lawyer. But after this Tucker Carlson thing, like, he's just as big of a Zionist as Tucker Carlson, as the rest of these Republicans, like Lindsey Graham. Tucker Carlson absolutely destroyed him. And so, yeah, I'm all over the place. I apologize, guys. It's really late. I really wanted to get some thoughts out for the week. I've been stuck in a freaking office cubicle all week. And all I've been wanting to do is watch this stuff, research this stuff. And there's going to be more to come in the next week, I'm sure. There's going to be, like, this is a wild ride. So, to cap it off, yeah, Trump is playing the Zionists. I think that's the theme of the video that I'm wanting to get across, is that Trump is playing the Zionists at this point. He doesn't like Netanyahu. Now, he's doing this weird thing again. So Netanyahu, if you guys don't know, there's a lot of countries, I think Sweden, a couple others, they want to put Netanyahu on trial for war crimes because of what's happening in Gaza, in Lebanon. You know, just the absolute insanity that Israel actually is committing a genocide right now by their own Jewish word, right? They invented the word genocide for the we'll say the mid-century event. I don't know if I can even talk about that on YouTube yet, but right now, Israel is quite literally committing the same thing that they've accused us of committing. We'll put it that way. And there are countries out there that want to put him on trial for war crimes. And Trump is backing up Netanyahu. Oh, we've been through a lot. You know, I got to look out for my old friend. So I don't know what Trump's doing with all this stuff, but I'm just starting to embrace it. It's like, okay, I just got to take this guy like day by day. I've heard this from other people. I'm going to literally start applying they call it the 3-day rule. Whereas when something happens, you have to wait 3 days. I never realized how vital that is until this Trump admin. Because you literally do have to wait. Like, it can change in 3 days. With this whole bombing thing, it literally changed in 3 days. It went from like, oh shit, we're back in the Middle East war, to holy crap, Trump like averted this entire thing. We don't even know if the bombings really happened. Like, all of this could just be propaganda. I've considered that. It's like maybe Trump is just saying things so that the Zionists are happy, right? There's like these rumors that like actually Israel, America, and Iran are like making this like secret deal in the background, and I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's kind of all I have to say, really, but I'll make a more coherent video at some point, I promise. This is going to be a week of weird videos. So if you guys are still enjoying the content, I appreciate it. Like I said, I've just been really busy and stressed out at work. I haven't been able to think clearly, and then this week is just nuts. Like every day, man, every single day, something crazy's happening. And it's just a wild ride, guys. It's a wild ride. So Trump is playing the Zionist. That's what I'm thinking of now. He's playing the Zionists because he does have an agenda. I think he wants to make America great again. But this is the thing with Trump, is like in his first term, he learned what the swamp was. In this term, I think he knows what the swamp is. So he knows he can't just like snap his finger, like I said, and just get rid of it. So he has to navigate the swamp. And again, I'm not doing this to make him sound like he's some kind of a 4D chess god. Like Trump is very much a boomer. I still agree with that. But in his own boomer way and his own pride, right? Something Trump doesn't like. Trump doesn't like to be told that he was wrong or he's not in the driver's seat, right? So I think that's one of the things that's pissing him off too, is Netanyahu is trying to, puppet him like he did in the past with other presidents, and Trump doesn't like that. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting, and I probably will make more videos like this because I don't know, this stuff fascinates me, guys. May you live in interesting times. That was a quote I heard a couple years ago, and as much as I hate this timeline, I've bitched and moaned about it. Like, I absolutely hate the state of women. I hate the state of men in the workforce and the money and all that. It all sucks, right? We're all, this is how I describe the time right now. We're all like materialistically poor, but we're not like homeless. Everyone is barely making it though, because the money is such a mess. But then we have all this tech. So it's like we're allowed to do this. Like internet now is cheap. All this stuff is cheap, right? I just went and got food. It's cheap. It's all just slop. Slop food, slop money. But the times are interesting because we're like in this information matrix. And every day, something new can happen. We're all addicted to this, right? I'm addicted to this. Who knows? I could just be producing slop right now. I bitch about not making slop. Maybe that's all I am now, guys. I'm a slop peddler. So I'm gonna end the video now for real. This has been a wild week. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys, again, I get comments where people say that they don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you guys do know what I'm talking about, you guys are the true listeners. You guys are the true subscribers. Let me know what you think about all this Trump madness down below. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you enjoy these like more spurgy videos. I appreciate all the support, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.